joining me today. I'm Barbara Britt. I'm a motivational speaker that promises to leave you with action steps after I get done speaking to get you started on that journey. You know, nothing's worse in life than to get excited when someone speaks and you're going to change it, and then you wake up the next day and that high is kind of gone and you're just sitting there going, I can't do that. I promise if I come and speak to you or work with you, you're going to have action steps. In fact, today you're going to have those. I also do consulting for businesses, coming and helping with culture change, helping everybody to be recognized for their skills and talents. And then lastly, I do professional coaching, walking beside my clients, helping hold them accountable and giving them action steps and helping them to be their best self. So today we're going to talk about Somo. And earlier I talked to you about JOMO, and I talked to you about FOMO. So FOMO is the fear of missing out, and that's something we don't want to live in. It causes us to go in debt because we want to be like the Joneses that have a new car and have a new TV, and that goes on and on. And you see FOMO all the time in how big our TVs have gotten. Am I correct? I mean, TVs have just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. It's now where it takes your whole wall up. So FOMO is the fear of missing out, and we talked about that earlier, and that's not something you want to stay in. And then we went to JOMO, the joy of missing out. And I teach a whole section on the undo list. And so go to my website, barbarabritt.com, and you can sign up and actually take a program where you learn how to get rid of things in your life that are not serving your purpose. And that's JOMO, the joy of missing out. And that's great. But the next thing, I went ahead and added it, made it up myself, so it's called Somo. And that is strategies of moving on. Because I can eliminate things out of my life, and I can do all of that, but I can't just sit still. If I sit still, I'm not moving. And when I'm not moving, nothing is getting done. And when you're not moving, you're not breathing, you're dying. So we're going to talk to you today about Somo, and that is, again, strategies on moving on. I always like to start off with a couple of quotes or a quote because I feel like it helps you to open your mind, especially if you're by yourself and you don't have anybody else to talk to at the time. It causes you to create broader horizons. It takes you out of that funnel that a lot of times we get in where we can only see just what's right in front of us. And I'm kind of like that. I know what I want to do and I go right for it. So today we're going to talk about some systems of moving on. And the first thing I'd like to start with you is a quote. And it says, even if you're on the right track, you can still get ran over if you fail to move. You know, you can be on that right track. We can get rid of FOMO. We can go to JOMO and the joy, of missing out. That's the JOMO, the joy of missing out. But if we just stay there, if we become stagnant, we're not growing. So remember, I can be on the right track, but if I fail to move, I'm going to get ran over. And I just love that. And that was by Will Rogers. And my second one, and then we'll get started, is be the kind of person who dares to face life's challenges and overcome them rather than dodging them. And just a real short story on this. When I get migraines, which I have terrible migraines, and sometimes they can just really lower so that I will stay in the negative, and I really don't like to be like that. But the one thing I equate it to is I'm this little tiny person this high on this beach, and a tsunami's coming at me. And I have the choice. Those are challenges in life, and I have the choice to go forward. I have the choice to grow and develop, or I have that choice to let that tsunami roll right over the top of me that's this big. I just, I just dodge all responsibility, and I just actually lay down in the sand. Well, I choose to move. And it's not that I'm not fearful of those challenges, but because I'm ready to face that challenge, when I look at myself in that sand, I can actually see myself getting taller and taller. Pretty soon the tsunami is only hitting me at the knees. I don't go out down in the water, and I actually look out and say, hey, look at those blue skies past that tsunami. Look at some of the neat things that are happening. And so that's what I kind of challenge you to do. So, and that was by Roy Bennett. So rather just, don't dodge them. Go ahead and face them. And realize that sometimes it's going to be some failure and some different things like that. Okay, again, we're going to talk about today the Somo systems of moving on. You know, you're on the verge of new, interesting things. You're excited. Two things can happen. The excitement, woohoo, I'm going to move on, or sometimes the inertia that allows me to just kind of stagnate and go all the way down. And the inertia comes because of fear. You know, what if I can't? Well, I'm going to talk to you about today about some things that stop you, but I'm also going to give you some things that will keep you going on. And so here's some barriers that you have to face in order to move on. Anxiety of the unknowns, one of the first. You know, that's why people stay in relationships or stay in situations that are just so caustic, so detrimental to their health and well-being and welfare. But they'll stay because they know that. You know, I have less fear of what I know than what I don't know. What if I drop this terrible, bad situation and I get into something worse? So, anxiety of the unknown, getting in there. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Step up and know that you are going to fail and you are going to grow and it is going to get better. And so let's get over that fear of the unknown. Another one is fear of failure. And I can tell you that hits all of us. My earlier career, 37 years of teaching and coaching, I was very lucky to develop programs and coaching areas, and we were very successful. And when I got out to start my business, I can remember the fear of my business not being successful. I had to stop and look at what I considered successful. Was I growing? Was I helping more people? Was I doing this and this and this? So I had to look at failure as something that allowed me to fall down and get back up again and to actually grow. Some of us have fear of success. And I know with doing professional coaching, I've had clients that will get farther than they've ever gotten before and turn around only to sabotage themselves. Because a lot of times we're fearful of success. What if we do succeed and then people are going to expect us to keep on doing it? And we don't know if we're up for the challenge. And I say, you know, just widen that view again and you are up for the challenge. Next one is fear of death. And you're going, fear of death? When I just stay in Jomo and just kind of float along, a day can go by, a week, a month, and I can already be a year in and haven't done anything. And then when I find out that I haven't really moved, oh my gosh, the depression on it is unbelievable. So I can't move. When I do move, and I develop programs and I design my year out, it allows me to see time passing. And I'm on that clock of life. So sometimes we're fearful because all of a sudden we notice our time. And I like to think of it as this: instead of noticing the time that's passing me, it allows me to utilize my time I have effectively. So when at the very end, and I'm asked that question, what have you done? I can look behind me and see all the people that I've worked and helped and what things I've accomplished. Another one is self-judgment. You know, we judge ourselves so harshly. We just judge ourselves. You know, we remember every single failure we ever had. We don't remember how we climbed out. We just remember the failure. And I'll say this to you: give yourself some grace. You know, give yourself some love. Be kind to that small child that's so creative that's inside of you. And then the other one is others' expectations. I know I will put expectations on others for me. They expect me to do this, and if I don't do it, I'm letting everybody down. And I build it up bigger and bigger and bigger. They didn't even have that expectation of me. I put it on them. They didn't even have that. They don't even know that I'm thinking that. So go back on those expectations and realize what they are. Again, it's kind of a way of your fear to manifest itself. So we know that now, so we know some things that cause this problem. So what are some strategies for success with Somo? What are some strategies? And the first is cultivate self-compassion. Realize it's all right for you to build you. It's all right for you to be on that journey. You don't have to judge where you are compared to anybody else. Take that lid off and allow yourself to grow. So again, cultivate self-compassion. Next, acknowledge what you're giving up. You know, anytime you move and grow, I do the circle of influence, which helps you on that. But with that circle of influence, you are going to sometimes walk away from things that are not serving your purpose. Sometimes that's people. Sometimes that's where you live. Sometimes that's a career. It can be anything. Acknowledge what you're giving up, because only by acknowledging it can I actually move on, realizing what I'm going to gain is worth so much more than what I'm going to leave behind. If you don't do that, it's hard. It's very hard to build to move on. Put your focus on the future. And I like to say that I'm not a historian. I don't live in the past. I don't necessarily just live in the present. I acknowledge what I'm doing in the present. I'm happy for where I am. I know it's a launch pad, but I'm a futurist. I look at what I want to get, where I want to achieve, what I want to be able to accomplish, and I take that future and I bring it to me. And again, those very important words, I put action steps to it. I put action steps to go down so I can meet that future, and I start living it right this moment. I don't wait, because by the time I get to that 3 to 4 weeks, a month, a year, by the time I get there, I'm already gone past and I'm looking deeper into that future. So don't expect, another one is don't expect perfection. You know, a lot of people won't start anything until it's just perfect. How many of us, you, me, have said, well, I'm going to wait. Take them out of your vocabulary. I'm going to wait till I get out of high school. I'm going to wait till I get out of college. I'm going to wait till after I get my first job. I'm going to wait till I retire. I'm dead. I've waited so long that I'm no longer alive. So don't wait. John Maxwell has something that I've always loved, and so some of the first words I ever heard him say, he goes, some people die when they're 25, but they're not buried until they're 65. Those people didn't grasp life and move. They didn't grasp life and actually move with it. Get past the fear of judgment. Again, the judgment you see most of the time is yours. You're the one I want you to think that you're broadcasting it. You're throwing it out there for the universe. Get past judgment. Widen your circle of influence of positive people. Makes a difference. Connect with your old favorites. What's serving you? I use a paper calendar, and people will go, well, it's on the phone and all that. It is. But the reason it's my favorite, it's my go-to, and I use it with all my clients, is it allows me to see what was successful, what wasn't. It allows me to see if I'm working in my purpose. A paper calendar gives me things to actually go back and look at and say, this worked, this worked. It gives me the ability to do the undo list. Without it, it's almost impossible to do the undo list. Faith in your relationships. Have some faith in your relationships. Think about authentic people that are authentic bonds with you. These are people that are with you when you fall. They're people that are with you when you're up. They're people that walk beside you. They don't walk in front of you saying, well, if they walk beside you. They help hold you accountable. They're people that you can see 5 years from now and they're still going that. So build those authentic relationships. And the last thing I want to do on Somo is just leave you with a quote. And I want you to go after you hear this, I want you to think about that during your whole day. Being challenged in life is inevitable. You're going to be challenged. Being defeated is optional. So let's get to work on Somo and get moving. Until the next time, go to my website, barbarabritt.com, and let me hear what your thoughts are. And I hope you enjoy this YouTube video. Thank you so much.